7% of all high school athletes go on to play in college. As proud members of the 93% that didn't, this is Fratletes.
Okay, welcome to episode 3 of Fratletes. First time we're on video. That would actually be super unfortunate if people watch this and they're like, damn, they're kind of ugly. And unfollow the Twitter. That would be tough. But speaking of the Twitter, we're
many ideas.
Yeah, please don't unfollow. That just hurt our feelings. That wouldn't even be mean. That would just be really hurtful. So speaking of the Twitter, though, we're at 76 followers. So we are literally 24 away from the $50 Visa gift card giveaway. So if you're not following that Fratletes pod on Twitter, go follow that. And so let's get in the episode, which we actually
before we go, let's keep in mind after this first giveaway, there's going to be many more to come. There's going to be more milestones for us. I mean, we plan on doing giveaways at probably 250 our next one, 250 followers maybe. We haven't really talked about it, but we definitely plan on having more giveaways in the future. So, like he said, if you have an idea to unfollow after the first giveaway, I mean, you're just missing out. There's going to be more.
You can literally get paid by just following the Twitter. So it's kind of your loss if you don't. But yeah, we had to kind of, I guess, switch up one of the topics for today, because originally we were going to talk about how the NFL is having this big show for the schedule release, but every game got leaked. But then it ends up that the guy who leaked every single game just made everything up and just was bored. And I think that's hilarious that he had actual reporters retweeting this stuff, got up to 10,000 followers, and was just whatever games came to mind. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw that on week 10.
So I'm kind of behind on it. The last tweet. So I work all throughout the day, so it's hard for me to keep up with everything on Twitter like I used to. But from what I've understood, the guy tweeted after it and is like, I got 10,000 dipshits following me, and I just bamboozled all of you. What went through this? What was it?
So he literally, I guess, created in May 2022, so just a few days ago, and he started just saying that his name was NFL Schedule Leaks, and he would just leak a game and be like, Ravens versus Bengals Sunday Night Football Week 1, and everyone just he just kept sending them, and people
you texted in
were
our
just
group chat.
I did. I was upset. I was pressed. I was truly upset that we were playing the Bengals Week 1 on Sunday Night Football. Watch, this is recorded on Thursday, right before the schedule. That's actually going to be correct, and then I'm just
the schedule comes out in a couple hours, right?
Yeah. So then, about 3 hours ago, he tweets out, he said, guess who just got 10K followers by literally making up a bunch of NFL games because I was bored and faking out almost the entire football Twitter landscape. This guy right here. And then he's lost 3,000 followers since. So
that.
But it's even funnier. He hasn't stopped tweeting. He's still tweeting, and he's just hyping himself up. Every tweet's still can't believe I got all you guys. And it's getting thousands of likes. He's just getting thousands of likes because he's yep, just thinking about how I just faked out the entire Twitter world. And people are just hyping him up. They're like, you know what? Good stuff.
You got to respect it, dude. You have to respect the hustle like that. Because I mean, what was he doing? Just sitting on Twitter all day today, just going nuts. I mean, definitely
a 3-day thing. It's been a 3-day thing.
All of checkmark Twitter believed him. There were so many blue checks or white checks, whatever version of Twitter you got. So many of them are retweeting it allegedly this is it. This could be a tough last 3 weeks for the Steelers. It was crazy. You got everybody.
Everybody was falling for it. I mean, I was seeing, and I think it's so funny because everyone was giving the NFL so much heat for all these leaks. And I know they were sitting back and they were like, none of these games are right.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest win for the NFL on drop day in a long time.
And when we
Because
say
people
drop
are-
day, we need to announce like we record on Thursdays and then the video itself will be out on Saturday. So when we say like in a couple hours, keep in mind this is Thursday evening. This is not Saturday or whenever you may be listening to that. Just felt like I should throw that in real quick.
Yeah, so it is Thursday at like 5:02 right now. Which
I don't know
and
why
then
I don't know why the NFL like makes a big deal about the schedule drop. Like one, we know the teams like right when the off season ends. They just like what week is it, and it doesn't like matter that much. But like I will say, this is like the first time that people are like mad as shit. Like, they're like talking so much crap about it. Like, dude, it's so dumb. Why we do this? NFL is ridiculous.
And I do think it's funny, but the best analogy I saw was everyone was complaining about how they have this big thing. And then someone said, they were like, we literally watch 3 hours of just a single dude walking up on stage and reading a card every year. And I was like, you know what? He's got a point. We kind of allow them to do this. And then I guess in other NFL news, this was actually super unfortunate. I was in the group chat talking about how Jerry Jeudy is going to have a hell of a year. And as I'm typing in the group chat, he gets arrested.
Wait,
so
that was incredible.
He just got arrested. Like it just came out like 30 minutes ago.
I am a part of this group chat, and I can attest. They don't have any. Yeah, there's no charges or anything. Even the Broncos are still getting information on it. He got arrested in Colorado, but Ballinger literally.
Which means it's not for weed. Which means it's not for weed if it's in Colorado.
It can't be. He's in Colorado. I mean, unless I don't know how that shit works out there. But anyways, Ballinger was literally in the group chat at like 4:30 and said, like I said, it's 5 p.m. now. 4:30, he said Jerry Jeudy's about to have one hell of a year because they were talking about the Broncos or Russell Wilson or something. And then 40, one of the other guys responds and was like, yeah, he just got arrested.
Well, to be fair, he's going to have a hell of a year. Like his year is going to be hell.
Yeah, especially once we see these. What if he's a part of YSL? What if it's all connected? Like he's part of that.
Dude, like they probably arrested James Harden after Game 6.
He's somewhere. He's at a strip club somewhere.
They know
James Harden
not getting better while we're over here focused about beating him in a 1v3. James Harden, you bum.
I still think we could do that if we strategized and went in with the right mindset. It's over for him.
I know we could, but let's not get sidetracked. I have one question on my mind while we're on this topic with the schedule releases. So as we're all AFC North rivals, we need a Browns fan in here just to make it even. We got 3 of us. We might need to add a Browns fan just for some fun, shits and giggles one day. But as AFC North rivals, one game you want on your schedule that just a circle. What's one team you want to play? Maybe it's a revenge game, or maybe I don't know.
I gotta take this. I want Cincinnati in Cincinnati, and I want to win by 50.
No. Sorry. I should have. I thought I said this, but I might have not. One team that's not in our division, so you can't say. Yeah. So
after all the
any
Bengals
other team in the league that's not in the AFC North, because I know we want to play each other. Obviously, I'll tell you mine, and mine's the goddamn Packers. Because last year Mason Crosby and Evan McPherson just decided to forget what their job was and go like a combined 1 for 7 in field goal attempts and extra points. And it was just the Bengals ended up losing, and Mason Crosby hit a game winner finally in overtime. And it was just so painful to watch. McPherson celebrated early, hands up, hell yeah, like thought we won. And he missed.
I forgot about that. Celebrated.
So the Packers are definitely going to be circled on my schedule, and I hope that's my revenge game, and I hope we get that on the schedule this year.
Did you guys see the alert that just came across? It says Jerry Jeudy facing charges of this is I'm not even kidding. I've never heard of this crime. Second degree tampering with a domestic violence enhancer. What is a domestic violence enhancer? Is it like a is that like
supporting it?
So you can just like slap your domestic partner? Like, is that the enhancer? It's enhancing the slapping? What is that?
Yeah,
it sounds like to me like he's supporting it. Like he's like, hell yeah, beat that.
Yeah,
you know,
beat her
like
ass,
he's supporting,
bro.
Yeah, what? I've never.
How do you enhance a domestic violence? I
Maybe
don't know,
maybe
man.
it's him hyping his girl up, and she's fighting someone in the family. So he's enhancing
Yeah.
that domestic violence. Like, be her ass, girl. Like, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah. What if it's
Ooh.
like that? I'm looking up what this is. This is. Of course, I look up domestic violence enhancer, and it's all Jerry Judy. That's a tough scene.
Let's not get on the wrong foot here, though. Here at Fratletes, we do not support domestic violence. We do not support that at all. We love our women.
It's definitely not cool. It's not frat.
No.
I'll tell you that, it's not frat.
It's definitely
Not
not
frat.
frat. So whatever, Jerry Judy, we do not stand with you. Even though we stand with AB. We stand with AB, but we do not stand until further investigation. I hereby am not standing with Jerry Judy. It is announced. I will tweet it later. But I do not at this moment. I do not stand with Jerry Judy.
That was brave of you.
No questions at this time.
For you to come on
Thank
the
you.
pod and say that.
Thank
was big.
you. This is a safe space.
A safe space.
So, do you
Okay.
guys have a circled team on your schedule?
Yeah.
I never got an answer here.
I mean, my biggest one is at the moment is the Buffalo Bills, just because, which I thought I was tricked into thinking was going to be on Thanksgiving, which I'm not a fan of because I still have PTSD from my Christmas being absolutely ruined because Antonio Brown's arm is slightly longer than the average human and got the ball across the goal line.
I was there for that game. That was the best night of my life.
I went on a 2-hour walk. I took a walk for 2 hours and just like kind of had to take it in. I wasn't even home. It was like we were all at my aunt's house, so I like didn't know where I was going, any of that stuff. And I just took a 2-hour walk and then had to GPS my way back because I was like, okay. I was like, I have no clue where I was, but I just knew I was walking. And the thoughts that were going through my head, I'm like, why do I care so much? I'm like, and then it goes from like, I hate Antonio Brown, even though I stand with him now. And it's just all that stuff. And then it goes to like the depression of like, why do I care about this team? Like, why, you're just like sitting in the rain and you're like, why does football make me so upset?
I like the part where you had to GPS back because there are times in sports where you genuinely get so pissed that you just want to get lost, and you took that like so literal. You just
literally
said, "Fuck
I
it, I'm
got
getting
lost." Hayden, who you looking at for this matchup for you guys?
Yeah, the old Steelers, baby. Who do you want to beat?
First of all, like I want to beat them, but at a certain time of the season. I want to play the Jets, and I want to play them early because I think they drafted very well. Like they might have something cooking. So I want to play them before they figure it out. Like I want to play them as they're still like working the kinks out.
That's
So
clever.
and I also hate the Jets. Because they beat us when they had Le'Veon Brown and Le'Veon Bell, sorry. And that was just one of like the worst losses because they shit on us with Le'Veon Bell and a poo-poo team. I think they won 2 games that year and one was us. Like it was rough. So I just want to like avenge that and like just whoop them.
Speaking of the Steelers, I want to give a shout out. You might have a big season coming, and as a Bengals fan, this scares me because Mitchell Trubisky just had a kid.
Yes,
and
I saw that.
It turns out no matter what sport it is, anyone that goes on the paternity list or becomes a father or anything, they absolutely go off. I remember in the MLB last year, any player that got put on the paternity list when he came back in the lineup, I'm pretty sure they homer like their first at bat back. It's insane. I don't know what it is, but I am terrified for Mitchell Trubisky this year. He might have an MVP caliber year.
Do you think?
I'm telling you.
Do you think the Steelers took that into account? Is that part of the reason they didn't trade up for a quarterback? Because they're like, you know what, listen, like worst if Pickett doesn't fall, like we got dad mode Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
as a GM, I would probably scout off whose girlfriends or wives are pregnant, but like in like 7 months prior or something, like like maybe
you gotta
he leaks
find
like
Also, you got to think as a new dad and like with pregnancy. I mean, it might happen. I don't know what it's like, but I bet he hasn't had that much sex in a long time. So his testosterone is like at the peak.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like seeing colors and shit like that.
He's definitely like his bench press has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page that Mitchell Trubisky is going to go off this year.
I think we have to put a Mitchell Trubisky future MVP bet down.
I think we
What,
might
most
get behind
improved?
that.
Most improved, definitely.
Oh, most improved
Oh.
player, comeback player of
That-
the year,
Comeback player of
I
the year.
mean,
That's what it is.
What are we doing here? I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm about to run to my bookie right now.
Be
Legally.
like, what odds can you give me on Mitchell Trubisky, most improved player?
Oh my lord! I bet it's
I
ridiculous
feel like
right
sports books have to take into account the father thing too. They're not dumb. Vegas knows.
They know
now.
everything.
Let me look it up real quick. I'm seeing
What
I
if
can
he's
get
like
Mitchell
minus
Trubisky at.
200? He's got minus odds. Right
They
now.
know too, yeah.
It's like minus 100.
Mitchell Trubisky is plus 15,000 to win MVP. I still feel like that's not enough.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they know. They're like, okay. I bet before today it was higher.
I'm gonna fact check myself. I'm not sure if that's right. I'm just making sure. You guys can continue the conversation. I'm curious about this.
I think it is one of those things that whenever an athlete has a kid, it makes no sense, but they just decide that they're going to go on an MVP run for a few weeks. Like in baseball, if someone has a kid, you might as well bet them anytime home run pretty much every night.
Yeah. Or like the anniversary of like a family death. Like when Brett
Yeah.
Favre played the game after his dad died, and he like had one of the most insane performances of his career.
It's like Aaron Jones this past year, like week 1. Remember he dropped like 56 fantasy points and while wearing the necklace with his dad's ashes. She just should have known. That's the kind of stuff that they need to tell you about right beforehand. They can't be dropping that mid-game that this is happening.
Dude, what? Comeback player of the year, Mitchell Trubisky's only plus 1,200. He's like
I'm telling
6th
you.
on the list. I completely just pulled that out of my ass, dude. I'm a little mad now.
Dang. I really thought it would be better odds, especially this far out.
Plus 1,200, dude. That's ridiculous. Did he? I guess he didn't play at all last year, right?
No. Actually, he got a few like games in like at the end when the Bills were just whooping people.
Good for him. Good for him.
All right, we want to move on to NBA.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get to the NBA playoffs.
Little Steph Curry whoop that trick, or the trick whoops you.
Dude, you'll probably have to
will
cut out
say-
that entire last 5 minutes because we were all on our phones.
I was checking the Trubisky thing.
I was
But
checking
yeah,
bets on my
yeah.
bookie.
I was checking
At least we were
something.
just checking reasonable stuff.
Yeah. All right,
So
go
we
ahead.
took
Yeah, we
priority.
that trick.
You got your Grizzlies
So-
jersey on, man. How you feeling after that win last night?
Oh my God, last night felt so good because of how cocky the Warriors were going into it. And like Memphis, every game in late moments plays whoop that trick. And then Steph Curry decides before game 5, they asked him what his game plan was. And he said that they're just going to whoop that trick. And then we dropped 50 points on their head, beat them by 50 points. And that felt so good. And it felt even better because after the game, Draymond and Steph were just trying to play it off like they weren't just talking hella crap before the game. Like they were just like, yeah, no, they only talk when they're winning and stuff. Because Draymond was like trying to hype the crowd up when they were playing whoop that trick because he
That was the
knew
best part.
that. Yeah, he knew he messed up. Like he knew that the fans were taunting them, and he was just trying to make the most out of it. But that
Dude,
game,
that video is so funny. Like I've watched that at least 3 dozen times. It's so funny.
because the one like Grizzlies dancer, like hype guy, is like right in his face, and Draymond just keeps getting closer to him, whooping the towel too. And it was just like Draymond was mad beefing with this Grizzlies dance team member for no reason.
Draymond is the ultimate troll, dude. I love him. I hate him, but I love him. Love hate.
I hate his antics when it's against my team, but it's just so entertaining.
Oh, it's awesome. His
Dude, speaking
podcast is great too.
Speaking
It
of like
is.
our teams, I honestly like. I might just be. I'm definitely biased, but I feel like it's a lot more boring without the Timberwolves. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, okay, dude, that Grizzly Timberwolves series is tough to beat. That is tough
That
to
was.
beat. The Timberwolves just got a bunch of young dudes that you could just tell they didn't want to lose. And then you got the Warriors now. They've been here. The Suns and Mavericks has surprisingly been a great series. I love the Luka and Devin Booker rivalry
I
that's growing
love
right
that
now
beef.
because they
Dude, I didn't know they
genuinely-
hated each other.
Dude, they do not like each other.
I think
There's
it's
a-
just started. I think it just started this series.
Well, dude, I mean, if you look at accolades, Luka blows Devin Booker out of the water, and Luka has no one around him. Devin Booker's they got added CP3 since he's been drafted to Phoenix, and they drafted DeAndre Ayton. They brought all their pieces. They drafted super well. They built a great team around him. Like they have everything they need to win a championship. Luka, on the other hand,
in the finals.
Luka, on the other hand, is just one man show. I could name maybe like 4 other players on the Mavericks.
Yeah,
Just
Dorian
I mean, I could name
Finney-Smith.
more, but I mean, the other 8 we'll never hear of the rest of our lives after like the next 2 years. You know what I mean?
I just know Boban because he's like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean,
Boban is still in the league solely because he's funny and tall. Like, he gets no playing time anymore. He just sits there and vibes the entire time.
Did he ever get playing time? Did he ever
Sometimes.
get PT?
Sometimes
In
he'd
the
get a
Sixers,
few
he
minutes a game. Yeah, with the Pistons, he was when he and Tobias Harris were like doing the whole like best friends forever thing. Like when they were like, especially in the bubble when they were like waving to each other like through their windows. That little bromance period, that was peak Boban. And then he was in John Wick. Do you remember that Boban was in John Wick? Like that just makes
Hayden's
no
kind of
sense.
got the John Wick flow going right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, got the mullet out for the first recording episode.
I
Yeah,
love
just
it.
don't fucking kill my dog.
Did you guys see the Bucks Celtics last night? Was such an interesting game, especially at the end, because it just like first there was a horrible foul call in the final seconds against Giannis to send him to the line. Then he misses the second free throw. And Bobby Portis, eyes popping out and all, just gets the biggest offensive rebound of his career and puts it back in. And then I've never seen such a clean steal. Like Marcus Smart is just running full speed up the court, and Drew Holiday just picks his pocket like it was nothing. Like they just ran past each other, and suddenly Drew Holiday had the ball. And
That was
like,
on the
what?
defensive player of the year. Making a great defensive play on the defensive player of the year. That's like ultimate kick in the face.
Yeah, that's ultimate insult to injury.
What was Drew Holiday like for the running? I didn't know. Like people were like, yeah, he's mad he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. I didn't even know he was.
I don't even think he finished top 3. Like,
yeah, I didn't understand.
It's really hard for a guard anymore to be included in that. But like,
yeah,
Marcus
Smart's
Smart
the
was
first
the first one in so long since like Gary Payton.
Since the
Is
glove.
that right?
Yeah, Gary Payton.
So yeah, it's always hard because you got Gobert and who else was it? Giannis, defensive player, maybe in the top 3. I don't know. I know Gobert's in there. He's always in there, but it's really hard for a guard to get included on the defensive player of the year anymore. So I'm sure that was no bigger moment than that right there. I mean, just put a stamp on it. That was killer. It was awesome to watch, and I don't know, something about seeing Marcus Smart not fail, but Marcus Smart's that player. He's not dirty. You guys know what I'm trying to say here. It's he's a hard player to root for. He's hard to root for.
If the ball's on the ground and your ACL is between him and the ball, he doesn't care that your ACL's
gone.
there.
That's a perfect way to put that. That is a beautiful way to put that, actually.
And it's just like you watch him and like you're just like, how does he not get tossed? Because he just throws his body everywhere. Just
Marcus
like
Smart's the guy that you have 12 people show up to an open gym and he is going 120% the whole time. And it's like the first open gym of the year and everyone's like half-assing it, getting back in the groove. And you just got Marcus Smart going way over the edge, just laying out for loose balls, just playing way too hard defense when no one's calling fouls. He's probably got 9 in the first half. Like, he's that type of guy.
He's calling fouls, but he won't. He refuses to accept he's fouled, but he calls fouls. He's the guy calling fouls. The other game that just like gets lost in is the 76ers and Heat series. Just like doesn't feel real to me. Like I almost refuse to turn it on.
Sixers are boring to watch, and I'm wearing a Philly jersey, dude. This is Dr. J. This is Julius, though. This isn't Sixers. The Sixers are boring. There's so many. The Heat are also boring. I'm sorry. There's no Jimmy Butler as your superstar is boring. It is. I mean, they play great ball. They do.
I feel like when I hear 76ers versus Miami Heat, I think of there's going to be like 70 mid-range shots taken.
And I said that, and you got Embiid shooting his 15 free throws, and he's back. And then, like I said this about the last series with the Sixers and the Raptors. It just screams take the under. Like every time, it just makes me want to take the under. But Vegas puts it so low to where you're just like,
no way they get under that.
Yeah, it's like no way, and then the score will be 95.
And they do.
I don't know.
Evan Hurd texted me, shout out Evan, and he was like, I was listening to the podcast, and it looks like you guys are going to have to take back what you said about the Sixers. And I was like, yeah, maybe, man. And you do not have to at all.
Sorry to shit on him, bro, but I'm not even trying to take knocks at him. I stand with the Sixers on this. Joel Embiid should have been MVP, like without a doubt.
He should have.
He definitely got robbed. I mean, we can agree to disagree, but I'm not saying Jokic didn't deserve it, but Joel Embiid, and as we saw those 2 games he was gone against the Heat, it's just I think in my eyes it's inevitable. He was the MVP this year.
I think the Nuggets without Jokic are worse than the Sixers without Embiid. That's why I was like, because they're pretty even.
I could see that.
So that's why
it's just so hard to put it in those type of scenarios, man. And James Harden is obviously not anything near what he used to be.
At all.
And Jokic was missing out on Jamal Murray, and is that all he was missing for majority of the year? Aaron Gordon was still okay. Yeah. But I mean, when you have your other star like that
Michael Porter Jr. too, right?
That's who it was. But that's
Michael Porter Jr. is like
he's a bucket, dude.
He is so good, but like he cannot stay healthy. Even when he was at Missouri, came in as the #1 player and got hurt and couldn't even play at Missouri. And he's like we were talking about with Ben Simmons. He just keeps contract hopping because he's got that potential. Dude's going to make a bag off of his high school highlights.
He's great. I mean, he is a bucket. He'll have nights where he'll drop 20 and then nights where he just will decide not to shoot the ball at all. But what I was getting at is Jokic, those are 2 very large role players for your offense. Like Jamal Murray we saw what he did in the playoffs. I mean, let alone it was in the bubble, but we saw what he did in that bubble, and he was dropping like 45 on the nightly. Like, but Jokic obviously had to take a bigger step, fill those shoes that weren't there anymore, and that's all I'm getting at is Embiid had these people, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, shout out Ben Simmons who didn't do a damn thing, but he had those players with him, and he was still completely that guy. And I just thought he should have got the edge over them.
I mean, speaking about the bubble, I just feel like every time the bubble comes up, it's just a crime not to bring up the fact that we witnessed bubble TJ Warren. Like, that was the weirdest 2 weeks in the NBA. Like, TJ Warren was the best basketball player on the planet for 2 weeks. And
dude, my favorite was Russell Westbrook, like getting an and one and then just yelling at all the children. All the players, infant children that are getting held.
Families.
Like, there's no child over the age of 4 on the sidelines, not in the crowd, on the sidelines, because they had their own little section. And you just see Westbrook get an and one, yelling like he yelled, "The fuck they talking about?" He yelled, "The fuck they talking about?" And it's just a bunch of the players' wives or girlfriends and the infant children that are in. It was
forgot
very
about
weird
that.
time. Oh yeah, dude, he's just out there. And one, fuck they talking about? And it's like it goes to the children, and they're just straight facing it, like.
The kids are like, have no clue who this dude is. Like, they have no clue. One last thing about the 76ers versus the Heat series, and I have the scores right here. I'm going to read them off. First game, Heat win 106-92. Heat then win 119-103. Sixers win 99-79. The only decently close game was 76ers win 116-108, and then Heat just won 120-85. Like, it's just not competitive. You know from the get-go who's going to win the game. Like, you
And
can
that's the
tell in
other
the first
thing
10
is,
minutes.
dude, both teams are going, and like you just said, these guys are scoring 115 one night and then going out and scoring 80 the next night. Like, what? 79 points in this year NBA game where they chuck threes left and right. It's just, if I'm watching that game or you're going to score 80 points, I'm probably not going to watch you again. Like, it's just like you're boycott. I'm boycotting you for like a week or two. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, they've had 2 games under 200, 1 game at 205, and then the other games, like over half the games, 4 of the games have been just low-scoring defensive games. And that's just, I guess if you're a basketball purist who's like, the older dudes who like, want to run the 3-2 24/7, the big zone guys, defense wins championship guys are going nuts right now.
This is your series. This is your
series.
Yeah.
The old heads who love defense, they're gonna, for the rest of the offseason, they're just gonna go off whoever wins this is their NBA champion.
Dude, Bob Cousy would be creaming in his jeans right now.
He would be going nuts. Old heads love good defensive basketball.
Yeah.
Good bounce passes, layups, and good defense.
Dude, the amount of times I've heard an old person be like, "You want to know who really is the greatest basketball player of all time? Pistol Pete Maravich." It's like every single time. It's like Pistol Pete. He could bounce it sideways.
That's my dad's
Never seen that
favorite
before.
player of all time. That is my dad's
See?
favorite. He went to
Exactly.
all of his camps. I'm not kidding. I swear to God, he had a T-shirt in our basement signed by Pistol Pete. He went to his camps. That's his all-time favorite player. Nobody can handle the rock like Pistol Pete. I'm like, Dad, have you ever seen Chris Paul? Like,
he was like the first one to bounce past it sideways and not look, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's the GOAT."
He was put on the Salem witch trials for a little bit because of that. He hit a no-look pass, and they almost arrested him.
Bro,
it's like that meme where it's like if the old head saw what Kyrie and Chris Paul can do on a nightly basis, they don't know what they do. Like, holy shit.
Could you imagine like Bob Cousy trying to guard like Giannis or something right now?
Bob Cousy, look at Giannis.
Big money for it.
Could you imagine Bob Cousy trying to keep up with Jamal Crawford's handles? I think Cousy would touch the floor like 6 times. Like, there's no way that guys back then were hitting the dribble moves that Kyrie Irving, when he did that little like behind the back thing, and like everyone went one way. If he hit that in the 60s, they'd arrest him. He'd be taken out, just full escorted out.
Bob Cousy look at Giannis like he's a dinosaur.
Yeah, they would never.
Bob Cousy wouldn't think Giannis was an actual human. Shout out old heads, though. We need you.
Yeah, or else we wouldn't have the content of talking about if Bob Cousy would have Jamal Crawford arrested for hitting a crossover.
This is no disrespect to the NBA legends. It's just like I always hate when they were talking, like when people talk about MLB pitchers back in like the 20s, and compared to like today, like Giancarlo Stanton would hit a baseball 600 feet if he saw an 80-mile-an-hour fastball down the cock.
I will say though, I feel like for baseball it's weird because they were only throwing like 85 and stuff, but they were also like just putting back cigs in the dugout. Like
Dude,
they were
got neck in the dugout.
Yeah, like these dudes did not care. I know Babe Ruth would be drinking and eating hot dogs in the dugout and then just go and like hit bombs. Like, could you imagine if some of these dudes had the weight training could you imagine Babe Ruth in a weight room with like some of the guys today? He and Giancarlo Stanton working out just would be insane.
Speaking of old heads, no wonder they don't want the game sped up in baseball. It's like shit. If homeboy wants to eat a hot dog and smoke a cig in the dugout, let him.
Yeah, they're like pitch clock. They're like, he's got to finish his sig. He's got to finish his
I just
sig.
sparked the fucking stove, man. What do you mean?
Can't you see he's having sex with a girl in right field right now? Let him finish.
Yeah. These guys are out here.
Common courtesy. This is America's pastime.
In old at polo grounds, they were just getting sexual favors and eating hot dogs and smoking cigs just in the dugout, and people were just like, yeah, this is Major League Baseball. This is America's pastime.
This is America's sport.
The best part is during those times, all the people in the stands are wearing like suits and shit. Like it's an official
like top hats, you know?
Yeah, it's like super.
Oh, like bro, it's a home run.
Like
yeah, like they slow clapped when someone would hit it like 450 feet. Yeah, someone would hit it 450 dead center, and people would be like, wow, that was pretty neato. And everyone's just like, and then the trash talk back then was just like, you know, we want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. And like that got to people. That got to people.
Alive.
People were getting.
Then nowadays in Little League, you can't even yell that or else it'll offend somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, you're getting in the pitcher's head. Stop it.
No being mean.
Hey, in Little League, were you guys, if you were on third base and you were like leading, or like even if you were on first base, mainly third, and you were leading like you're about to steal, or like just kind of get like a you know what I'm talking about, what's it called? I haven't played baseball in so long.
Like getting a lead off?
A lead off. There you go. That's how. Yeah. I don't watch baseball. But like, were you guys allowed to like clap and like make noises?
Hell no. Hell no.
Dude, yeah. So like we were allowed to for a little bit, but then yeah, you can't clap. I'm like, the fuck? Why? It's Little League baseball, bro. Let me talk my shit.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, back then, I remember it was 11-12, and we weren't allowed to lead off at the time. Like, I don't know why, but it was some weird game where they didn't allow us to lead off. And this one kid took a lead, and I was playing first, and I made a scene. I was like, hey, yo. I was like, he leading off over it. I was such a narc. I was like, yo,
immediately.
Dude, leading off. And everyone's like, hey, Billy, get back to first. And then he takes a lead off the next pitch. And I'm like, hey, yo. I was like, this kid not listening.
Dude, speaking of Little League, we had this one kid. I played for Hamilton Township when I was in high school, dude. He gave him a nickname. It was like Cheddar Bob. His nickname was Cheddar Bob. And he would, every time he'd come up to bat, there'd be like some old lady in the background, like, let's go, Cheddar Bob. And it was just like every single time. And I'd be pitching, and I would be so intimidated that Cheddar Bob was up to bat. And he was a little short, fat kid, and he raked. He hit bombs. And it was just perfect. It was Cheddar Bob. Isn't that off a movie or something? Yeah, not a movie guy. Not a movie guy. We stated this earlier. I'm not a movie guy. But Cheddar Bob, shout out Cheddar Bob. Homie could rake.
I feel like Cheddar Bob is actually a really good transition into our next topic for the gas station.
Absolutely.
So,
I knew there was a reason I said that shit.
Cini, I think this is you.
Yeah. Okay. So I dug up this new segment, just a random ass question I had prepared for you guys. So, gun to your head. This is to save your life. You're in a gas station. You have one snack. Let's do it. One bag of chips, one candy bar, and one drink. What are you choosing? Gun to your head, and the person you're buying the snack for is Donald Trump.
Okay, so personally, I decided to go bold. I decided I was either getting shot on site or I was getting dapped up. So I went with the Flamin' Hot Cheetos because you either love them or you hate them.
Yeah, there's no in between.
There's no in between. So if he just like decides, with Donald Trump, that might be big because, people say sometimes he looks like a Cheeto. So like maybe he's like, you know what? I mess with Cheetos. Like he likes Cheetos.
Or he's
or
gonna
he's
be like, oh, this is
offended
an
by
insult. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I got to hope the Flamin' Hot, saves me on that one.
Like throw him off. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got to go for drink. I feel like you'd have to go with like a Red Bull or something. I feel like he's a Red Bull guy. I feel like he's not a Monster guy. You can't give him a Monster because he could also get offended by that. He'd be like, are you calling me a monster? I feel like he'd get a little offended,
Keep in mind, this is the same guy that just ordered a shit ton of McDonald's for, what was it, the NFL champions? Super Bowl champions?
Clemson.
Oh, yeah, it was Clemson. It was for Clemson. College football, they won the college football playoff, and they went and visited, and he just bought a shit ton of McDonald's. So keep in mind, this is the guy. He's probably not too picky, but you really don't want to pick the wrong thing,
Actually, he's definitely a Diet Coke guy.
I think that's a lot better choice. I think that's a lot better choice than a Red Bull.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
you said Red Bull, and I was really concerned for your life. I was scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got Flamin' Hot Cheetos. You got Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and are we stamping the Diet Coke?
Yeah, I'm gonna stamp. Yeah, I'm going Diet Coke. Diet Coke,
All
and
right.
then I guess for candy bar, I feel like he's a Reese's Cups guy.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you, on my scale, I'm gonna give you 2.5 out of 3. Just because the Flamin' Hot Cheetos is gonna be a half. I think Diet Coke suits him really well. I think that's better than what I have. I think that's better than my answer. Diet Coke was a good answer. I'll give you that one. Flamin' Hot Cheetos, it's all about, if he likes it, I'm gonna upgrade you to a 3 out of 3. If he doesn't like it, I'll give you a 2 out of 3. Donald Trump, please respond to this and let me know what your gas station snack is. And so I can update my rating on Bollinger. This is crucial stuff. Like, we really need you to respond. So Bollinger, I'm giving you a 2.5 out of 3. I'm gonna give you a 2.5 out of 3. All right.
Seni's trying to get his truth followers up.
Exactly. But I mean, the only person that's more accurate than me on this is Donald Trump. I'm just kind of speaking for him. I'm sure he doesn't want me to do that.
I'm sure he doesn't want me to send out the ratings for his snack preference.
Yeah, I mean, what do I know, Donald? All right, Hayden.
All right. So I'm just gonna go with my gut here. Drink, I'll probably do cherry Pepsi because it's absolutely delicious. Especially with pizza. There's no pizza in this scenario, but it is delicious regardless. If I was gonna go bold, I was gonna go Code Red Mountain Dew, but he might look at me like a piece of shit for that. So I'll do the cherry Pepsi.
I feel like he would either like that or judge you immensely for that.
He's like, oh, what do I look like, poor? So then snack, I'm gonna go classic pretzel and cheese combos. My wife likes the cracker and cheese, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Big pretzel and cheese guy.
Cute. I gotta step in here. The pretzel over the cracker is crucial.
Yeah, you have to.
That is crucial. The pretzel over the cracker for combos is absolutely crucial. Yeah. Great answer. Continue. Sorry for interrupting.
I don't think I've had a road trip where I didn't get combos. You got to get them for every big road trip.
Have to.
And then for candy bar, I'm gonna go once again with what I do, just because go with my gut. Similar to what Zach said, but those Reese's Fast Breaks, it's like a Snicker Reese bar, phenomenal, and that's probably the best candy on the shelf.
See, I'm on the same train with the Reese's, but mine was the Reese's Take 5 combo. It's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like a little crispy.
Dude, I think those are phenomenal. But it's kind of out of the ordinary. Like, no one's going to a gas station and it's like, oh man, I'm gonna get me a Reese's Take 5. I'm that guy. That's what I do that sometimes. But Hayden, that's a good list. So we went on Cherry Pepsi. Cherry Pepsi, for those listening, Hayden is the master on this. He's saying Cherry Pepsi goes great with pizza. Is there a certain type of pizza or?
Yeah, what kind of pizza?
Just straight pepperoni. I mean, you can always mix it up, but I'm saying like Like if it's like a birthday party or like a large gathering and people just get like a ton of pizzas, like they're usually just cheese or pep. I'm always gonna go pep. Then I will like if I'm going to a party and I know there's gonna be soda, I'm gonna be like, they're not gonna get cherry Pepsi. I will go out and I will get my own. And I'll come strapped to the party and just whip it out.
You will not
this
catch
is
Hayden.
great.
You will not catch Hayden lacking at a party without cherry Pepsi. It's
Hayden will
just simply
not be
not going to
showing up
happen.
to any event, including pizza, without his cherry Pepsi. Hayden's gonna show up like, "Hey guys, I got cherry Pepsi," and everyone's gonna be like, "Why? Like why?"
Hayden's the guy who like the party starts at 7 and it's like 7:15 and Hayden's texting people at the party like, "Yo, is there cherry Pepsi?" And it's like completely deciding whether or not he goes.
What's
He's
the
like,
cherry Pepsi to other soda ratio?
What's the ratio?
Yo, what's the ratio like, bro?
What's the ratio? Guy to girl? No, cherry Pepsi to rest of
Cherry
the
Pepsi to
soda.
non-cherry Pepsi.
So we've got cherry Pepsi, a Reese's Fast Break, and what was it? What am I missing?
Combos.
Pretzel and cheese combo, not the cracker and cheese.
Not
Yeah.
This might start a big argument with your wife later, Hayden. And I'm sorry if I got you in a bad situation. I didn't mean for this to get too in depth, but
she knows.
I do stand with Hayden on this topic with the pretzel over the cracker. I just think that's inevitable. But Hayden, I'm gonna give you a 3 out of 3. I think that's a great list.
That is a good
Like
list.
I think you live. I really think you lived, and your guys' answers has me rethinking my own because I think I might die. I think I might get shot in the head after. So I'm going with. I'm not worried about my snack, but I think my drink could be off. But you guys can let me know if you think otherwise. But I'm going with. Likewise with Hayden, I'm a big combo guy. I'm going the pizza combos. The pretzel, the pizza combos. I don't think you can go wrong there because I mean they do taste like pizza, like they kind of do. A really like shitty
I feel like
microwave
all pretzel combos are just a good answer here.
Combos are great, man. Shout out combos. It's a beautiful snack. But no, pizza combos. That's my answer. I'm gonna go with a wild card here.
All right.
And I'm gonna choose my candy bar as a Three Musketeer because I think they're phenomenal.
Nougat is top tier.
I think Three Musketeers are a really good candy bar, and I picture Donald Trump with a Three Musketeer in his mouth, and I just think it fits. I'm making sure I was picturing. I just wanted to state I was picturing Donald Trump with something in his mouth, and just needed to get that across. I mean,
I feel like that's on the same level as the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, where it's you either love Three Musketeers or you hate them.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And if it causes controversy and he's like, shit, I don't want that. Like, I gotta live with it. Bullet to the head. What can I do? But yeah, I'm gonna die with it.
Die with it.
So yeah.
What are we thinking for drink?
I'm going blue Gatorade. Blue Gatorade has never done me wrong. It has always quenched my thirst, and it has just always been a refreshing, delicious, absolutely delicious refreshment. You know, it's just like, hey, let me go take a sip of my blue Gatorade real quick, and it's like, I don't know, it's always quenched my thirst. It's just great taste, and it's like when
well, what
Ricky
kind?
Bobby,
light blue or dark blue?
I'm a light blue guy, but I don't think you could go wrong with either one. But I'm going to choose the light blue for sure.
Yeah.
If my life's on the line, I'm definitely going light blue. So, Mr. Donald Trump, I would get you the pizza combos, a Three Musketeer candy bar, and a blue Gatorade. And I think that'll mix well. You know, maybe it's like, hey, I don't want this salty with the chocolate. I'm telling you, man, as I've been there before. I've tried it. It'll mix. I promise.
It'll work. I will say I was thinking about getting him a Gatorade. That was while I was brainstorming. Gatorade was definitely up there. It was kind of between Gatorade and Red Bull for a minute until I had the epiphany that he's a Diet Coke guy. Donald
Trump definitely looks like a soda type of guy, though. So I mean, I I probably think you're right with the Diet Coke. I think he would definitely prefer like some sort of soda rather than a Gatorade, but I could be wrong. Yeah, like I said, Donald Trump, reply to this and let me know what you think, man. You pick your best list, and maybe one of us will respond to you. I don't know.
Let us know your favorite. Maybe you can get on the pod.
Yeah,
We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
We'll see if it works in the schedule.
So
I think we should.
I'll give myself a 2.5 out of 3, just strictly because of that Three Musketeer.
Yeah, I think good.
Hayden's list is phenomenal, though. I wish I it's like I wish I was cheating off Hayden with my homework right now. I was looking at his shit, and I would have taken his list, but I think we came up with some really good lists right here.
Hayden was like a spokesperson for Cherry Pepsi for a minute. He sold me on Cherry Pepsi.
Hayden could win a Nobel Peace Prize off of Cherry Pepsi.
I've done my research.
Yeah.
I feel like all right. So we have MLB first, but I feel like just the vibe. I feel like we should go into the. So you have 6 months to train for one sport to go professional in. What sport would you choose? Because I was kind of like I was between a few. So I want to hear what you guys said.
I think mine's I think it's an obvious choice, but I said curling because 3 months I just got to practice my ice slide. Just gotta like focus on that, maybe get some core muscle in, get really flexible, and the other 3 months just get me super detailed. And the best part is I can like do that, and I don't have to be in like tip top shape. I can have like a beer belly, and I can have my mullet, and I can win an Olympic gold medal. Like that's what I'm taking. 6 months dedicated, funded. Teach me curling.
That's actually very close to the kind of vibes I was catching. Mancini, what were you thinking?
So my mind was kind of in the same space as Hayden here. I figured like a typical sport like hockey, football, basketball, baseball. I mean, I put a large portion of my life in it, and obviously I'm not pro. I don't think 6 months will save me and do the job if I do that. But one thing I do think, if I treat it like a job, and for 6 months I put my fucking blood, sweat, and tears into ping pong for 6 months straight, every single day, I really think I could come out as a ping pong champion, or at least compete in some sort of professional tournaments. I mean, I'm going to need a trainer, obviously, and I'm going to need some right form, and I'm going to have to work on my grunts. I'm going to have to work on my you know what I mean?
That's at least a month of the training.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's going to take some time to get that down. I'm not worried about the coordination stuff. It's more of like the grunts that's the intimidating factor. Because I mean, if I'm playing a dude in ping pong and he's got a mean grunt, I'm scared. I'm phased.
I love that we all kind of had like the same idea going into this, because the sport I ended up picking was bowling. Because I feel like if I go hard for 6 months every day, dedicate my life to bowling, you know, like, who do you think you are? I am. Like, that could be me. Like, I am, you know? I could be him. So like, that was what was going through my mind. For a moment, I was like, you know what? I was thinking potentially golf, solely because I was like, it wouldn't be impacted by other people. Like, I would just have to play my game. But then I remembered, like, I'm already really bad at golf, and like I would have to just get past that. Like, it would take me like 2 months to get to like the average. Like, I'm decent at golf, and like I don't think in 6 months I could hit that PGA level.
Dude, I really think you're underestimating that. I think golf would take a long time to master.
Yeah.
Because I mean, professionals, dude, they start at a really young age to get to where they are. Like, golf is insanely hard. You definitely took the right route taking bowling over golf, in my opinion.
Yeah, because when I was looking at it, I was like, there's just no way 6 months is enough time. I was like, if we're talking like 5 years, I was like, I could maybe dedicate that, but 6 months, I gotta go bowling. It just,
dude, Speaking of the who do you think you are I am moment, this is just like a funny dude rock moment I had the other day. So I was playing MLB The Show, and for those of you that know, I've been banned for a exponentially long amount of time. It's kind of bullshit, but whatever. So I got my account back for like a day, right? And I was super happy, and I played my first game, and I hit a walk-off homer. And in my room, I have like a high school senior photo of me. I just get up and I just point, and I'm all by myself in my room. That's why this is hilarious. I just get up and I look at my photo and I point. I go, "I'm him! I'm him!" Like yelling it off a walk-off homer. It was just so funny, dude. Oh man, I just felt like I had to share that story because it was on my mind with that. Who do you think you are? I am. It's classic.
Oh yeah.
So we got bowling, Bollinger the bowler, Hayden the curler, and then Sini the ping ponger.
That's fire.
Once we get big, I think it's going to be one of those things where we got to dedicate 6 months to these, and then that's see.
Hey, dude, if I could dedicate my life to 6 months of nothing but ping pong rather than work an 8 to 4, I'm perfectly fine by me, man.
Yeah,
Perfectly fine by me.
Dude, people who are professional curlers, like, where do you go to, like, as a young age? Like, I've never heard of like youth curling leagues.
I feel like in Minnesota and stuff, the colder states, I think it's one of those things where like you don't go out looking for curling, like curling kind of finds you. You like you're sitting there like at the grocery store and like someone bumps into you and he's like, "Hey, you look like a curler." And then he's some like 3-time Olympic gold medalist and he's like, "I'm going to take you under my wing." And like you're just sitting at the grocery store with like a carton of eggs, and then suddenly like you've got to you have like 5 seconds to dedicate your life to curling. And then like that's just like what happens. Like curling is just something, unless you're in Canada. I feel like in Canada that just is like that's something they do for
The
fun.
only
like
thing to do.
Yeah,
Sounds
everything's
natural.
always just covered in ice. They're just like, what if
Just
we
drink
just
and
throw the
curl.
cinder block down it? What if we see
funny.
who can throw these little cinder block things down closest to the circle? And then I guess that's what they do in Canada and hockey.
Yeah. Just drink and curl, bro.
Drinking curl.
Say
Not
thank
the
you.
bicep curl. and be extremely polite.
You guys
And
want to do
give
MLB?
yeah. Okay, so my rakes is for who rakes who takes. I went
We're
with
transitioning now. Sweet. My
Yeah.
bad, I missed it.
I went Christian Yelich, but solely versus the Reds once a year because he has 3 cycles in his career, and all 3 have been against the Cincinnati Reds, which doesn't make sense because obviously this year the Reds aren't the best, but like he did it against some pretty good Reds teams, like when the Reds weren't just completely giving up. And that's what's incredible. For you to have 3 cycles alone is like insane. But for you to do it against the same team, that's impressive.
3 is tied for the most of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw that. He's tied with like 2 other players who to ever have 3 cycles in their whole career. For those of you that don't know, a cycle is a single, double, triple, and home run all in the same game. Like it is extremely hard to do, and you don't see. You might see 2 a year, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah,
Maybe
2 if. Yeah, I mean there are years that there is no one who hits a cycle.
it's like seeing a triple play. It's incredible. You don't see it often.
Yeah, and
to have
it kind of
3 of
like
them
hits
is
you.
ridiculous. And that 3 of them all against my Reds, my Red Legs, man. It's just like I wouldn't expect anything else though.
Yeah. So Sandy, who you got for rakes, or what you got for who rakes?
My who rakes is actually one of my favorite players. I love Jose Ramirez, and he has just been phenomenal this year. And I'm a big guy where I love base runners, and I don't want people to be striking out often. And Jose Ramirez is definitely one of those guys. He's batting .297 with 7 home runs and 8 doubles. He's only struck out 10 times this year, and he's got 19 walks. So he's definitely got a great ratio compared to getting on base rather than sitting on the bench. And he leads the league with RBIs with 30. And
So I feel like we've covered a lot of ratios today. It's like the ratio of being on base to sitting on the bench, and the ratio of cherry Pepsi to rest of soda at the part. Two very similar things. So Jose Ramirez is like the cherry Pepsi at the party, is what you're kind of saying.
Jose Ramirez is the cherry Pepsi at the party. That is exactly what I'm getting at.
I love that.
And then the rest of his team is like the what is it? The really bad black Mountain Dew that was just terrible, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They tried to
Mountain
come
Dew
out
always
with
tries to do that.
That's just like
it was
the
like
rest of
Mountain
his
Dew
team.
Black Ice or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Mountain
It's all
Dew's
right though.
always
You'll
trying
have that.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have that.
I always love knocking on teams, and then everybody comes back and they're like, "Oh, you're a Reds fan." Like, dude, I know we're terrible. What do you want me to do? Not knock on anybody else?
Exactly.
So yeah, I will knock on the Guardians. Sorry.
So
ahead,
my rakes and takes are together. So I'll end rakes and start takes. So and plus my rakes begins like with a background story. So there was one time when I was an ATO that we got like a message in the group me that there was like a fight of one of our guys, and like they just called us all to the bar, and it was Jake's. So it was like across a street, like two blocks probably, a block and a half. And I remember we all ran like from the house, and there was already a crowd outside when we got there. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, they got backup!" And it was like a sweet scene, and you felt awesome. And I imagine that's how pitchers from the bullpen feel when there's a fight and they run all the way across the outfield. Bro, that's the funniest fucking scene of all sports fights. The best is like everyone crowds, and then it's like, "Oh man, we got the bullpen." And it's like three guys just like busting ass and trying to get to that fight. Bro, I think it's the funniest stuff.
And none of them ever touch anyone. They just break
but
it.
in the back of the
None of them ever involved.
I forget who it was, but they interviewed, it was like last year, someone in like some bullpen pitcher, like in an interview talked about that. And he was like, I hate fights. He was like, I have to get up, run all the way to the pitcher's mound. He's like, by that time, it's already cleared. He was like, I get no action. I don't do anything. And he was like, and then we just have to walk back. He was like, it's the worst. And then you always see those few like bigger pitchers who are like really questioning if they're needed in this fight. Like they're like kind of in the back giving the half jog. They're like, okay, if this ends in like 3 seconds, I'm gonna just turn around.
The ones that are like half jogging, it's just like that GTA meme, like, oh shit, here we go again.
Go again.
Like,
all right, and then my
only bullpen pitcher though is I don't want to see Amir Garrett running at me. You know what I mean? He does not hold back.
No, he took on the whole Pirates that one time. Was that him?
Yep, that was him. Yeah, you're damn right it was him.
Then my takes is like the actual fights, because like they're historic fights in MLB history, but like this year I feel like it's like tempers flare and everyone's like pushing and shoving, but like they do absolutely nothing. It's just like it's the pissing contest and it's whack. So like that's why I enjoy the pitchers running out of the bullpen so much, because like at least there's that highlight I get to laugh at. And the fight's just like quit wasting our time. Like let's get this going.
Who was that Cardinals pitcher? It was Gallegos, who did the full, like he flipped himself over the wall to get to the fight, and he went full sprinting, and he does all of that just to be first person there, just to turn around, like because nothing happens. Like but everyone knows the dude who did the flip over the wall.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the thing with baseball is like when the fight breaks out, it's normally because someone got hit, and the person's getting hit because somebody else got hit. So I know there's like the when it's on purpose. Like players know when it's on purpose, but at the end of the day, how do you know if it was on purpose? Like the worst is when like someone throws like a curveball and like a 2 or like a 1-1 count and it hits the guy, and it's just like obviously it wasn't on purpose, and then the hitter's just giving him a death stare, like, and there's like, dude, it was an 81 mile an hour curveball that he let go of. But Like, it's shit like that. I mean, MLB fights are weird, man, because I guess it's hard to tell when it's on purpose rather than.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's those moments when you do know, and like everyone knows when it's on purpose. This is kind of starting to not make sense in a way,
No,
because
it's like if they have
it's
a
like you
history.
know, but you don't know, but you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
know.
talking about. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like if
So
they have a
that's
history. If it's Yankees, Red Sox, it's most likely on purpose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. And
And
like a 6-run different ball game, and it's the 8th inning, and maybe the opposing starting pitcher hit like, I don't know, a big name player, like, I don't know, Jesse Winker's the first person to come to mind. He's like a big roll, 3-hole, 5-hole, whatever, lefty. He gets hurt, or not hurt, but he gets hit. That, and then later in that game, like the 8th inning, a guy from the other team gets hit. That's one of the situations where you'll know. And
yeah.
times like that is what I hope for when shit starts to break out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that kind of actually kind of goes into my take, because my takes for this week is just straight up MLB umpires again. Yeah, I just remember it being like there was a curveball or something. It was a two-seamer and an 0-2 count that hits a Yankees player, and the guy goes to first. And after everyone calms down and everything, and they're about to restart the game, the umpires get together and decide to eject the pitcher. And then an inning later, the Yankees throw a fastball high and inside at Bo Bichette's head, and the umpires didn't do a thing. And the ump show this year is starting to get ridiculous because these umpires are making horrendous calls. Like last night, it was a 3-3 game in the Red Sox game. 3-2 count, bases loaded, 2 outs. And this ball was borderline bounced. And he called him out on strikes. And then he tossed every person who argued with him, even though it was a horrendous game-changing call. And that's just where it's getting to the point where it's like their egos are getting just too high, and someone's got to be held accountable eventually. So my huge takes for the week is just all MLB umpires, except the cool ones. But I don't really know which ones those are.
As a former youth league umpire, I will state that I don't stand with them. When I was an umpire, I didn't even like myself. I'm not kidding, dude. When I would make a call, I would be like, dude, this sucks. Like, you got to call ball or strike. I don't want to call ball or strike, dude. Like, whichever one I call, the other team's going to be pissed
Yep.
off. Like, so yeah, as a former umpire, and I mean, I umpired like 8-year-olds. It's kind of similar. It's pretty much the same thing in a way.
Yeah, I did too. Mhm.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
good
so
times
I'm
back then.
technically just as high up as these MLB umpires. The strike zone's all the same. Just saying. I don't stand with them, dude. And I didn't stand with myself when I did it. I just wanted to get that out there.
Just wanted to get that off his chest.
Yeah, I had to. My takes are always off rants off of people on my fantasy baseball team. And Whit Merrifield, dude. What the hell? Like, I'm not kidding. I was offered, it was a package deal, but it was Whit Merrifield and another player for Garrett Cole was one of the players. And Zach, I know you ended up getting Garrett Cole, and I didn't want Garrett Cole. I hate the Yankees with every part of me, and I didn't want Garrett Cole. And I said no because I said, and I quote, Whit Merrifield's a stud, and he's going to go off. He's just having a slow start. Well, since I have said that, Whit Merrifield has dropped from the leadoff spot to batting in the 8-hole, and he's batting a whopping 161, 16 strikeouts to 6 walks. So the motherfucker is not getting on base. His on base percentage is .198. He has 8 RBIs, and I know that might not sound terrible, but guess what? 4 of those were from yesterday. So prior to yesterday, Wednesday, he had 4 RBIs on the season. We are like 30 games in, and he is your leadoff batter. He's supposed to be your leadoff batter. He dropped all the way to the 8-hole. I don't know if I have a curse on me. Whit Merrifield, if this is me, if this is my problem, let me know. I'll drop you or something. Maybe you'll heat up if I drop you. It could be me. But I'm not happy with you. And you're going to start seeing my bench really quickly if this keeps up, dude.
Yeah, you got to drop him to the 8-hole in your lineup too. Maybe that'll set the spark. Bench him a few
Rough
games.
out here, dude. It's rough.
All right. Do we want to wrap up with our new
Little new segments.
Yeah, so pretty much, I guess we'll explain. So to end every episode, we are going to. I have a random athlete of the day. Hayden has a random fact or something just of the day, and then Mancini will have a word of the day. So
So my word of the day is going to be like I'm going to plan on, the word of the day that I announce from here on out is going to be, I'm going to share how I use the word in a sentence with literally, I have to use the word in a sentence with anyone. Like I just have to let you guys know how that conversation went and if I sounded intelligent or not. And I'm more than likely not going to sound intelligent and people are going to look at me weird. So it's probably just going to be awkward and funny to talk about.
I think you should have to use it on Twitter, like in a Twitter conversation.
Okay, so I want to share like maybe I'll throw it at my mom, like throw a curveball at her and be like, "Hey, mom, what's up?" Say some super long word, and then that makes no sense in the sentence, and just see how she responds. But I can tweet it too. I can try to make a tweet with it.
I was thinking like just
Look like an
respond to
idiot.
somebody like under an NFL tweet and just like
make it one under a blue check.
Yeah, like respond under a blue check with just this outrageous word.
So let's get a prime example while we're on the topic. My word of the day is abstentious. Abstentious means self-restraining. And fun fact, it is also the longest word in the English language to use all 5 vowels in order. So
that's pretty fire.
Abstentious is my word of the day, or technically, I guess, word of the week, because next time you guys hear this, it'll be a week. But I'm gonna take abstentious, and other than on here, I'm gonna use it in a sentence. And I guess I'll tweet it. I'll make a tweet with it, and just I'm probably gonna get some weird looks or be like, dude, why the hell are you saying abstentious on Twitter? But hey, you know what? I'm gonna boost my intelligence here, and maybe my dictionary will get bigger. So
there's gonna be like a few people. There's gonna be a few people who like regularly use the word who are gonna see it on Twitter and be like, "Oh my God, one of us." Like, there's probably a group of people. Like, they probably have a group chat of like people who use abstentious.
And for those of you that don't know or haven't caught on already, I'm kind of an idiot. Like sometimes I will just talk and to be talking and it might not even make sense, but I'll make it make sense, you know? I'm one of those guys.
Those. Hayden,
I'm a
what we got?
very abstentious person.
All right, so
there we go.
Mine is like kind of long. So like not kind of long, but just like it's not like a quick fact. So do you want to say your random athlete and then I'll just like list off this like story?
Yeah. All right. So random athlete of the day is Felix PA, who first off spells his last name PIE, so it's pie, but played for the Orioles, Cubs, and Pirates between the years of 2007 and 2013. But here's where it gets funny. He had 993 total at bats, only hit 17 home runs, and batted 246 with a negative 1.6 win above replacement. But he hit for the cycle on August 13th, 2009, and I will never forget that day. And it just is forever engraved in my mind because he wasn't like a normal player. Like he just got added to the lineup, like to give someone like a day off, and he hit for the cycle. And I remember I went to a game and they were literally handing out jerseys or shirts that had pie on the back. And like, that was just super dope to me. And then he hit for the cycle like a few weeks later. And I just will never forget Felix PA solely because he's the most random player I've ever seen hit for the cycle.
Can you explain that the negative win above replacement, or what was it? What was that stat? I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, so negative 1.6 win above replacement. So pretty much it means like when he's in the lineup, like you're giving yourself less of a chance to win. So like
okay.
like Mike
so he's a loser.
Trout has like Mike Trout has like an insane win above replacement. Like if you take him out of the lineup, like you're gonna lose. Like Felix PA was a liability in the lineup and then just hit for the cycle. For one day, we were all Felix PA fans.
That's awesome.
All right, Hayden.
All right, so
Hayden,
banana
explain
history.
your segment. Explain your segment though. What
So it's
history
just
are you
like
doing?
kind of like a quick rundown of like random history that you probably don't hear about. Like I do this for my office at work just to make ourselves like make our jobs like not like just terrible. Help us like get through the day. Just like to focus. Like I have to like give a rundown on everything going on in the office, and no one cares about that. So then I add something at the end where it's like, this is the whole reason I listen to all that shit, and it's done pretty well. So anyway, This is banana history, and it's kind of dark, and it's weird. Like banana's such a happy fruit, and like it's got like some trouble behind it. So before I begin, this history is so crazy that someone wrote a book about it, and in the book they have one of the most insane quotes about a fruit I've ever heard. And it said, "Smooth, bright, seedless, conveniently pre-wrapped bananas were the original fast food," which just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, then it also does make perfect sense. But like the thing people were like, I need my nanners, you know what I'm saying? Like it throws me off.
Got
So-
a banana dealer.
Yeah, you got a banana plug. People had to get banana plugs back in the day, you know.
Hey man, you got any of those nanners?
Hey, you got any of those fresh ripe?
So there was this dude named Manuel Bonilla, exiled ruler from Honduras. He was like the ruler of Honduras, and they like overtook him and kicked him out. So then he went to New Orleans and like rounded up a bunch of like rough and tough guys, borrowed a boat. They all brought guns, and they like just were on their way to Honduras to retake the country, and were willing to like kill and be aggressive as much as possible. So just keep that in mind. There was this one company when it comes to bananas called United Fruits, and they were like the main banana people, like a monopoly. Like you've heard of Big Pharma, they're like Big Banana, like they're a big nanner. Yeah. So like they start like banana sales are going crazy. They start bribing Central American politicians to pass laws and acts to allow them to grow bananas on their land, and just like for a very high fee. And then they're harvested by slaves, so that sucks. Like that's not cool. Dark history, not good. So then what they do is they give Manuel Bonilla a ton of money to like fund his takeover of Honduras. So when they do that, in return they get a bunch of land to grow bananas. And like, you got to think, like, you're really gonna kill people over banana land? Like potassium had to have been at an all-time low. So also side note, the land they like absolutely destroyed to grow its bananas were like large regions of the rainforest. Like they were like, so sorry if I don't want to use a paper straw when banana land is over in South America just destroying the rainforest. Big Nanner is just blowing down the ecosystem over there. You want me to use a paper straw? No.
I'll start using a paper straw when bananas are getting grown in the rainforest.
Yes. So then United Fruit booms in business, selling these bananas, and they're called Gros Michel bananas. And I'm only saying this so you remember this, but Gros Michel's type of banana. And they get so big that they almost like underdo themselves. And like it's attracting so many workers. So like people are coming in like rapid fire that like it's also bringing in disease. So then like all these Gros Michel bananas are like growing a fungus and they start dying. So United Fruits just shuts down all the plantations and leaves thousands homeless and jobless. And then you got to think like Honduras is a very, very like poor country. Like I remember like in church we would do stuff for Haiti and Honduras because they were so like just like without resources. So I wonder if like it's
plenty
because
of
all these people
though.
came. Yeah, well, plenty of bananas. Like I wonder if it's because like all these people came there and then like their job was just swept under the rug and they had no money and they couldn't leave. Anyway, so then they bulldoze even more rainforest to make new banana plantations, and new governments that are no longer corrupt fight back against them because they're like, you can't tear down all this rainforest, and they offer to buy back the land from United Fruit, from the plantations that had the fungus growing on the bananas. And they're like, what we're going to do is we're going to buy this, give it to farmers who are now jobless because you left, you assholes, and we're going to give them the land to farm. So they're like, all right. And they're like, what we're going to do is we'll just price it based off your tax records. When United Fruit had been fraudulently claiming their land as super undervalued, so they had to pay less taxes. So like, oh, fuck,
Those
you got us there.
bastards.
Yeah, so like they got fucked. They fucked themselves because now that the city's like, all right, well, we'll just check your tax records, and that's the value of your land, I guess. And they're like, ah, damn it, so they lost a lot of money.
Damn.
Yeah, so they kind of got fucked back a little bit. So then they try to like reach U.S. politicians with their connections, like shut this shit down. But then there was a worker strike against United Fruit, blah blah blah. They're like, fuck it, we'll just let you have the land. And then they start growing these things because all the Gros Michel bananas died out. They start growing these things called Cavendish bananas. And that is why, if you ever have like a banana sucker or banana popsicle, it tastes different than like the bananas you eat at the grocery store because you're eating Cavendish bananas and the Gros Michel is the flavoring that you taste. That blow your mind or what? Yeah. So then
that took a twist. That took a turn on me.
Oh, the twist. I haven't even said the big twist yet. United Fruit, after all this, rebranded to avoid like a bad look, and they are now Chiquita bananas. Yeah.
Really?
Say it again. What's their company name?
Chiquita. Like the Chiquita bananas, like the bananas with the blue little sticker on them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
United
yeah.
Fruit now. So those are some dirty motherfuckers.
I'm gonna keep that in mind next time I purchase some bananas.
Damn straight.
I thought it was so funny that they were in Honduras and they're like, you know what, we got to take over. And they're like, where are we going to go to find the biggest, baddest dudes? And they're like, New Orleans. Why were they like, they're like, you know what, let's head to the U.S. Let's go to New Orleans, recruit some dudes. Let's go into this place.
What if he was like, hello, gentlemen, I need people to help me armed. I need people to arm themselves and come back with me and take over a country. And they're like, what'd you say? He's like, sorry, I need me people with arms to go on and come down in there and give me some Honduras land. They're like, oh, now I get you.
Yeah. I wonder if like Drew Brees would have gone. You know,
100%.
I feel like if he would have told him that he was going to be like helping with bananas, I feel like he was such a nice guy that he would be like, yeah, I'll help your company make bananas, grow bananas. And then like Drew Brees would just be a part of this huge scheme.
Yeah, bro. You've heard of blood diamonds, but like Chiquita bananas, like blood bananas.
If Chiquita bananas sales starts to tank, just know that it was Fratletes exposing these bastards.
We're coming for you,
you bastards.
Yeah, sorry that was so long. I just like it was so in depth that I had to like go layer by layer.
Hayden, I wouldn't have slept tonight unless everyone that listens to this podcast didn't know that about bananas. I'm not kidding.
Damn straight.
I'm serious. That was great to know, and I'm really glad that's how this first segment went. Exactly what I wanted out of this. I want something so random and just something that I can share at the Thanksgiving table this year,
Damn straight.
And that is exactly something that I can share at the Thanksgiving table.
Heck yeah.
So next time you throw a party and Hayden's coming, cherry Pepsi and absolutely no bananas.
No, there's not Chiquita. Not Chiquita.
No Chiquita banana. As long as those two things are checked off, Hayden will be there.
We'll rage.
Okay.
Chiquita. So, I think that wraps us up for episode 3.
Yes, sir.
We'll see.
I'd say
you
this
boys
pretty
episode
successful.
4.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll see everyone. Keep in mind, follow out on that Twitter, baby. We're just right there for that giveaway. The quicker you guys follow, the quicker this giveaway is.
So up to you. We'll see y'all.